डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर ओपन युनिव्हर्सिटी.
Hello students, I Dr. Shivang Patel, Associate Professor, School of Computer Science, Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, welcome you all in this lecture series from Chaitanya Studio of Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. Now today we are going to start with Unit 4, in which we will see some more general purpose utility commands of file and directory system. We are going to start in today's session. The first command, that is chmod. Second one is owner, then chgroup, find, head, tail, wc, touch. These are the commands that we are going to see in this unit. In today's session, we are mainly focused on first three commands: chmod, chowner and chgroup. So basically these three commands that are related with user and the group permissions. So we are just starting with the first one, that is chmod command. Now, as we have discussed in the previous session, suppose you want to see the details of files that are available in the directory or current directory, you are using ls command. Now suppose you are requiring the detailed listing of file and directory, you are using the option ls-l. So whenever you are using this L option, you can get all the details, which includes the file is regular file or whether it is directory file, which are the access rights or permissions for that particular file, then after how many links are related with that particular file or directory, who is the user, who is the owner, then at which time that particular file is created, what is the size of that particular file, the file name of that particular file, all this information that you can able to see with the help of ls and l option. Now chmod command basically used to change the permissions. So whenever you are talking about the permissions, so basically three types of user that you have to study. First one is the owner, second one is the group, and third one is the other. So the owner is that who has created that particular file or the folder, or you can say that the directory. That is called user or the owner. Second one is the group, that means particular file or particular folder having multiple users and all users are in one group. So that is the second type of user, that is called group. And third one is the other, that means other than the creator or the owner and the group, all other user that are under the category of the other type, right? So if you want to change the permission to particular file, in that case you are using chmod command. So the syntax for chmod is, you have to use chmod on the command prompt, then after the options that are the optional, and then after you can mention which permission that you want to assign or you want to revoke to particular file, and then after the file name. So here you have to use three options, R, W and X. R stands for read access, W that is write access, and X that is for execute access. You can assign read access, write access or execute access to any of the file or any of the directory, or you can say that the folder under multiple files that resides, right? Now there are two alternatives. You can use to assign permission or to remove permission. You can use some letters or you can use some numbers. That numbers are in the octal system. So we can see in practically how you can change the permissions. So you can see on the command prompt, currently suppose I would like to check how many files are there. I am using ls command. So you can see these are the list of directories and files that are currently available in this folder or in this directory. Say for example, I would like to see file1.txt, the detailed listing. So I am using with the help of ls-l option, then after the file name, that is file1.txt, which is already created. Now you can observe here, these are the information you can see. First dash, that indicates it is the regular file. If there is a D letter, in that case it is directory, but here it is dash, simply dash, that indicates it is the regular file. Then after you can see RW and dash, then R dash dash, then again R dash dash. So these are the permissions. So total 9 letters you can see on the screen. First is R, then W, then dash. So basically 3 permissions that you can assign or you can revoke to that particular file or to that particular directory. So that first group of this R, W and X, that first 3 letter, that represent the owner. Then the next 3 letter R, W, X or 3 dash, that represent to the group, and the next 3 dash or RWX, that represent the others. So here basically 3 types of user: owner, then after group, and the third one is others. And these 3 letters RWX, that represents individual user having the permission for that particular file. Then after here you can see root, then after again root. So that first root, that is the owner, and the second root, that is the group. Now suppose in one group there are multiple users are there, so it may be possible username and the group name may differ, but right now that owner of the file and the group are the same, that's why both having the same name, root and root, but the first root indicates the username and the second root indicates the group name. Then after the file that is created on which date, at which time. Second thing, after permissions you can observe the number, that is that file name related with how many other files, the link option that will be mentioned here, and then after the file name. Also the file size that can be mentioned here. So all this information you can see with the help of ls and l option. Now suppose you want to change the file permission. So you can see on the presentation, this is the syntax. Basically, as we have discussed, this group of letters that are divided into 3 parts. First RWX, that represent the read, write and execute permission for the owner. As we have mentioned, the first dash, that represent the file type. If it is dash, then it is regular file. If it is not dash, is any other letter like D, then it is directory. Then first 3 letters RWX, that represent the owner. Next 3 letter RWX, that represent the group, and the next, or you can say that the last 3 letters, that represent the other. Then with the help of this figure, what you can understand? So you can understand that the file name that you have mentioned, that is the regular file. First 3 letter RWX, that means the owner has 3 rights. He can or she can read, write and execute. The next 3 letters RWX, that represent the group, that means that file belongs to which group, that group having all 3 permissions, and the other users apart from the owner and the group, they can also have 3 rights RWX, that is read, write and execute. So you can change here accordingly with the options that we will see practically one by one. Now changing the mode for files. So you can change the file permissions with the help of chmod command. How you can change these permissions? So basically you can see you are having 2 alternatives. You can use some numbers or you can use some letters, right? You can use here octal number system. Say for example, you want to assign read permission, then you can use 4. Then 4 means what? What is the equivalent binary for octal 4? So equivalent binary, that is 100. Now these 3 digits 100, that is equivalent to 4, and what it means? So 1, that represent the read permission. Then after 00, that means write and execute having no permissions, right? So only read permission you want to give, you can assign the number 4. Same way 2, that is for write permission. So 2 is the octal number. What is the equivalent to binary for that 2? So you can already aware that 0, 1, 0, that is equivalent binary for that octal number system. Now 0, 1, 0, these are the 3 digits. Now first digit 0, that means read permission that cannot be assigned. Then 1, that means write permission can be assigned. And then after the 0, that means execute permission is not assigned. So 2, that is equivalent to 0, 1, 0. So when you will get the 1, at that time that particular permission will be assigned to particular file system. Then after you can see the 1. So whatever the octal 1 in the binary, that is represented as 0, 0, 1. Again 3 digits. So first 0, that means you don't have to assign that read permission. Second 0, you don't have to assign write permission. And at the last position 1, that represent you have to assign execute permission, right? So as we have discussed, I am again repeating these 3 numbers 4, 2 and 1. If you want to assign only read permission, then you can mention 4. If you want to assign only write permission, then you can mention 2. And if you want to assign only execute permission, in that case you can mention 1. So these are all the octal numbers and you have to convert that into the binary. So one octal number that represent 3 digits binary number, and that 3 digits individual 1 digit that represent some permission. If you don't want to use these octal numbers, you are having another alternative. You can use the letters. Now which 3 letters that you can use? U, G and O. Now what this letter indicates? So U stands for user. If you want to assign permissions to the user, you can use user, U. If you want to assign permission to the group, you can use the letter G. If you want to assign permission or you want to remove permission from other users, in that case the letter O that you have to use in your command prompt. Suppose if you want to assign or remove permission to all 3 user types, all 3 user type means owner, group and others, in that case you can use the letter A, small letter A, right? So all these things that we can use by practically. Now observe here, suppose you want to assign all 3 permission RWX, then you can just add these 3 numbers, that is 4, 2 and 1. 4 that is only for read permission, 2 that is only for the write permission and 1 is only for the execute permission. Now you are adding all 3 numbers, you will get the 7. Now 7 in the octal, what is the binary equivalent of 7? So 1, 1, 1. That means what? You want to assign read permission, you want to assign write permission and you want to assign execute permission. In that case, you can use this digit that is 7 and binary equivalent that is 1, 1, 1, right? So you can see here examples. Suppose I am using the command chmod, then after 7, 0, 0 and then after the file name. Here the file name is temp.txt. Now what happened? After execution of this command will change the permission to all 3 users. Now the first user, that is the owner. For owner we are using 7. 7 means 1, 1, 1. So all 3 permissions, that is read, write and execute, that will be assigned to owner, right? Then after we have used 0, so that 0 represent for the group. So for group 0, so what is the equivalent to binary for that 0 octal? Obviously 0, 0 and 0. So first 0 that represent no permission, second 0 again represent no permission and the third 0 that again represent the no permission. That means here the group user, you don't want to assign any permission, in that case you are representing here 0. Same way, suppose you don't want to assign any permission means read, write or execute permission to the other user, in that case you can also use 0. So again you can see or you can observe that particular thing on the screen, that is chmod command, then after 7, 0, 0, that means first 7 represent the user, second 0 that represent the group, and the third 0 that represent the owner. Sorry, it is representing the other. So 7 means you are assigning the user read, write, execute permission. Then after 0 means you are not assigning any permission to the group, and then after third 0 that represent you are not assigning any permission to the other user, right? Now you can see another example on the screen. We can change the permission chmod 740. So you can see the output. First 7 that represent the owner, that is you want to assign read, write, execute permission. Then after 4, as we have already discussed, that are the octal number and you have to convert into binary. So 4 binary equivalent, that is 100. So only read permission that you can assign to the group, right? And then after 0, that means for the other users other than the owner and other than the group, that is no permission, read, write or execute, no permission that you want to give. In that case you are using 0. Another example, you can get more idea. 771, the first 7 that indicates for the user, second 7 that indicates for the group, and the 1 that indicates for other user. Now first 7, that means you can assign all read, write, execute permission to the user. Second 7, that means you can assign read, write, execute permission for the group, and the third digit, that is 1, that means only execute permission, because the binary equivalent is 001. So first 0 that represent the read, you don't have to assign read permission. Second 0 that represent write, you don't have to assign write permission, and then after 1, that means you want to assign execute permission, and that 1 is on the third position, that means for the other user you can assign only the execute permission, right? Now that first alternative we have seen by using the octal number system. If you don't want to use this octal number system, you are having another alternative. You can use some letter. If you want to assign or remove permission to the owner, then you can use O. If you want to assign or remove permission for the group, you can use the letter G. And if you want to assign or remove permission from the other user, in that case you can use O, right? So for owner or the user, to assign the permission you can use plus, and to remove the permission you can use minus. You can see on the screen that the example represents chmod O plus RW. What it means? O, that means other user can get read as well as the write permission. Now all these example we can see practically. So you can see here the file name is file1.txt. Currently which permission is there? Here owner having only 2 permission, that is R and W. Now suppose you want to assign the execute permission to the owner. So we can use chmod command. Now you want to assign permission to the owner. So for the owner you can use the letter U. Then after which permission you want to assign? You want to assign execute permission. You want to assign, that's why you can use plus sign. If you want to remove, if you want to revoke some permission, in that case you can use here minus sign. Which permission I have to assign? Execute. So for execution, which letter? X that we have to use, and then after you can use the file name. So file1.txt. Now how you can check? Again you can use ls command, ls with option L, so that is the detail listing, and then after the file name. So you can observe here, previously the user having only 2 permission, that is read and write. After executing chmod command, we have assigned one more permission, that is execute permission, right? Now you can observe here for the group only read permission is there. Now suppose you want to remove that particular read permission from the group owner, right? In that case again you can use chmod command. Now for group, which letter is used? G letter is used, that represent the group. Now you want to remove, so you can use minus sign. Then after which permission you want to remove? So read permission you want to remove. then after the file name. So file1.txt. How you can check? You can again execute this command. So you can observe here previously group user has one permission, that is read. After executing chmod, the permission that can be removed. Now suppose you are requiring to assign all three permissions, right, to that particular group. In that case, you can use G later and then after plus RWX. So this command, when it will execute, it will assign all the three permissions to the group. You can see on your screen, we are using chmod command, then after you are using for group, then after plus RWX, then after the file name file1.txt, then after you can check with the help of ls-l command. You can observe here we have assigned all three permission RWX to the group. So you can see here the second part, three letters RWX that can be assigned, right. Now suppose we want to assign read write execute permission to all the users, right. So you can also use chmod with the letter, say so for example 777, that is the octal letters, and then after the file name file1.txt. After execution of this command, what happened? As we have already discussed, first 7 that represent the user, second 7 that represent the group, and the third 7 that represent the other user. Now first 7 that is divided into the binary, that is 111, second 7 again divided into binary 111, and third 7 that again divided into binary 111. That means you want to assign all three permission read write execute to all the users. All the users means owner, group and the other. In that case you can execute this command. Now observe this with the help of ls command. You can see here RWX, all three permissions we are assigning here, right. Now suppose you want to revoke all three permissions from all the users, then which octal letter I have to use? I have to use here 0, right. So I can use chmod 000, first 0 that represent user, second 0 that represent the group, and third that represent the owner, sorry, it represent the others. Then after the file name, so file1.txt, okay, spelling is wrong. Now you can check with the help of ls command. You can see here all the permissions that can be revoked or removed. Now suppose you want to change the mode for directories. So all the thing that we have seen for the file, the same thing that you have to use for directory or the folder, but the meaning that can be changed here. For file, that is you can assign read permission, write permission or execute permission. Slightly it will different for the directories or for the folders. How it can be differ? So for directory R that represent, that allows the contents of the directory to be listed, and the X attribute, that is execute attribute, that is set. That means if the execute attribute is set, in that case you can move inside that particular directory and you can list all the files that are available or all the subdirectories that are available in that particular folder or the directory with the help of R option. The only thing is that you are already having the execute rights. Second is W. If you are having execute rights and if you are using this W, that means you can create, you can able to delete, you can able to rename any particular subdirectories or the files from that particular folder. And the third one, there is X. That means you can move inside that particular directory, you can traverse or you can check which are the files or subdirectories available into that particular directory. I again repeat, for the directory, if you are having execute permission, in that case R option can only allows you to see whatever the files or subdirectories available inside that particular directory. You cannot create, you cannot modify, you cannot rename particular file if you are having the option R. If the option is W is there and you are already having the rights of execution, in that case you can create new file, you can rename new file, you can delete the file. So all three rights you can get with the W. The only thing is that you can having also access right of execution, and if you are having only execution rights, then you can see the list of all the files available in that particular directory, right. Now you can see the example 777 that we have mentioned in the previous file sessions. So here what is the meaning of 777? So no restrictions, so this is not a good choice. So anybody may list the file, anybody can create the file, anybody can delete the file. If you are using 755 option, then you can see RWX, that means who is the owner having all three rights, who is the group user having only read access, only owner having the access to create file, but the group and the other having no access to create, rename or the delete files. And the third one is 700. If you want to make your folder or the directory private, in that case you can use this option. That means the owner having only rights read, write and execute. All other users, that means the group and the other user having no permissions if you are using this option, that is 700. I think you are clear with this all options with the directory. The practically as we have done in the file, same you have to use practically for the directory. The only difference is that you can use directory name instead of the file name, right. Now the next command is chown command. Own, that is owner. Suppose you want to change the owner of particular file, in that case you can use chown command. You can see here how you can see the owner. So first of all I am clearing the screen. Now ls, I would like to check the how many files or directories are there in the current directory. Now using ls l, I am using here this file. You can observe here root and root. So first root that indicates the owner and the second root that indicates the group. So this owner root that belongs to which group? Root. Here both owner and the group having the same name, but suppose some other users are there, so username is different and that user belongs to particular group, then group name may also change. Now chown, that is change owner, so it stands to for change the ownership. The only thing is that you have to logged in with the root user, you are having all the permissions, then and then you can change the owner of particular file or directory. So the syntax is chown options user group and the files. On the same syntax you can also change the username as well as you can also change the group name, right. So what is the example? You can see here the example $, that is the command prompt, chown, that is the command, new user 1. So previously suppose some other user will be there, now you want to change that user for that particular file f1.txt, you can write the new user name here. So after execution of this command, the user will be changed and the new user 1 is now the owner. But the only thing is that you are having the permissions to change the user, that's why you must logged in with the super user or the root user, right. New user 1 f1.txt and dir1. In previous example you can change the user of one file. Now suppose you want to change the user of file as well as the directory or multiple files, in that case you have to list after this command chown new user 1 f1.txt or say for example f2.txt or directory 1, all the files or directory here you have to list for which you want to change the user. Now suppose you don't want to use username, you want to use user ID, you can use UID. You can see here the example, instead of username we are using this user ID, that is 1100. You can see the user ID with the help of UID command. Whenever you are writing UID on your terminal and press enter, you can see all the users with their user ID. Then after colon sign, you can see here user and the group. If you want to change user as well as the group also, with the CHOWN command, you can use here on the same command. Both are separated by the colon. You can see the example CHOWN, that is the command, new user 1, that is my username, colon new group 1, that means I would also like to change the group name. I can use here that group name, and then after particular file. So after execution of this file, what happened, that f1.txt, the user will be changed, or you can say that the owner will be changed with the new user 1, as well as the group also will be changed, and the group name is new group 1. Now if you are not passing the group name, you are just leaving colon, then what happened? So whatever the owner that belongs to which group, right, that group name, that will be assigned to that particular file, right, in case of if you are not passing the group name. If you are passing the group name, then normally that group name will be changed, but if you are not passing that group name, in that case the user that which is logged in and which belongs to particular group, that can be changed here as a group name, right. Now you can see, suppose you want to recursively change that particular user and the group, you can use R option. So what happened, the directory or folder in which whatever the files available, all files and directory rights or permissions, that can be changed with the help of R option. Another command, that is chgroup. If you want to change the group name, in that case you can use chgroup, that is the special command if you want to change only the group. Previously we have seen chowner, that will change only the owner information. Here this command specially dedicated to change the group. So you can see here chgrp, that is change group, then after you can use option, and then after the file name. Now suppose again you want to assign that particular group name, if you want to take the reference from particular file, in that case you can pass here the reference option. So whatever the permissions of abc.txt or whatever the owner or the group information of abc.txt, that will be assigned to this abc folder or abc directory. If you want to add group or if you want to add user, as we have mentioned in previous session, you can use add group or add user command on the command prompt, right. So in today's session we have discussed mainly 3 commands: chmod to change the permission, chown, that is change owner if you want to change the owner, and chgrp if you want to change the group name. In that case you are using this. Few more commands related with this general utility file system we will see on the next subsequent unit. Till then, happy learning. Thank you.
स्वाध्यायः परमं तप